Keith, are you there or is just somebody logging in from Keith's computer?
Hey, Mark, it's Jamie.
Hey, Jamie, I wondered if maybe that was you or Tony logging in from Keith's computer.
Oh, no, it's me.
Okay, sorry, I don't have any video today. Whenever I have video, it's when I use Lucy's laptop, and we took it into the shop for some repairs today. So I'm just going to be on audio.
All right, no worries. I didn't know that you were going to be available. I thought maybe you might be hunting or something.
Oh, no, I hunt in December.
Oh,
So I'll, I don't remember what date it's in December. I'll have to take a look at that, but I'll let you guys know if I'm not going to be.
okay, that sounds good. All righty.
Yeah, I just went down today.
Carissa, hello, Carissa. Good. We're not on the record yet. We cannot, Carissa, you're muted. I can see your mouth lips move, but no sound.
There we go. The only time I could get a refrigerator delivery, my refrigerator crapped out, is during this meeting. So if I have to leave for a couple minutes just to get them started, I got everything cleared for them. You'll know where I am.
Not a problem, not a problem.
Okay,
At least
thank you.
you're present.
There, I started it. I didn't want to record our chit chat back and forth.
Understand. Well, we're not talking about anything of consequence here so far. Well, I got 1:31. We'll give it a couple more minutes.
Okay.
Mark, did you get a copy of that, what my recommended, who was going to talk about what?
Yes, I'm fine with that. I'll go ahead and talk through those.
I know Carissa acknowledged it. I was kind of scattered out a little bit so we can all cover for it.
I get it. That's why I didn't respond either. We got back and I've been swamped ever since we got back trying to get caught up.
Well, we're glad you're back.
Thanks.
Okay. I'll give it to 1:35, and if I don't, we'll take a roll at that time. Not a lot of participants this afternoon,
No,
considering there's 3 board members and two staff people. That's half.
half the group.
We should be playing some music in the background. Let people know we're still alive.
Oh, there's Mandy. I'm at my meeting, hon.
All right. We're up to 4. That's good. Somebody opened their car door.
I'm on my meeting.
I'm waiting for her to show that she's connected. Taking forever. Okay, guys. Mandy is still trying to connect to audio. Anyway, I showed the time to be 1:35, and I think the recording is still on. Let's call the meeting to order. And I'll just name off the board members I know are existent. Carissa is present, both for in voice and video. Mark is present only in voice, muted out. Mandy is present, but she's muted. And I am present. So we have 4 board members present. Unless Derek is out there on the G's iPad, I do not see Derek. So we have a 4 out of 5, we have a quorum to start the meeting with. First step is to approve the agenda as submitted.
I move that the agenda be approved.
Okay, Carissa is second on that.
I'll second it.
Mark second. All in favor, please acknowledge. Is Mandy ever?
Yep. She's
There she is. I'm sorry, I was looking for a blank.
unmuted.
You're still muted, Mandy. There you go. Mandy, you okay with the agenda? And I'm approved, so unanimous, 4 out of 4. The previous minutes that we were sent to us some time ago, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as submitted by the secretary.
I'll second.
That was Carissa, I believe.
Yes.
So I got me and Carissa. Mark, you okay with it?
Yes.
Mandy?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I missed you, Tony. What did you say? What am I approving right here?
The previous minutes.
Oh, yep, approved.
Okay. Special business, going down the budget here. The budget item A, I think I'm going to defer till we get to Keith's comments. And number 1, because that kind of covers all of it. So there's no sense in talking about it here and going back over it. The Recreation Committee, I think we'll defer that because there's an attachment that I asked Mandy to talk about when we get to it, and it's the only recreation item I believe that we are going to be talking about. Personnel Committee, just a brief update for board members. I know you guys all know about it, but I'll just make it public. We did locate a replacement, we thought. We had the application. Mark and I spent quite a bit of time and Keith, with the candidate. We extended an offer to him, and that's the way I can put it. He got cold feet, decided not to leave his current job. And because of that, I'm not mentioning him by name. But we did have conversations with him afterwards to see if we could talk him into it. I think he's well qualified, and I'm not going to give up on him yet. I may try it again because I know how to reach him. Anyway, so we missed out on that. So we are still looking. I will add one thing to the overall issue on the replacement piece is that we're still looking, of course. We're advertising. I spoke to a representative of COLA, the Colorado, anyway, it's an organization run by the state. And they have a meeting going on here this coming week. This week, actually, in Keystone. And I told him what we were looking for, and I've known the individual for quite some time. And he will keep his ears open, see if he can come up with somebody. Then also, I went ahead and went to this special district site. And luckily, there was a job, the compensation survey. Let me just read it. The compensation survey was completed back in 2020. And I printed it up, and I'll probably copy this and share it with all the other board members later on this week. And it looks like if you take us as the middle percentile, 50% of all the organizations that exist, we may be a little bit on the shy side on the salary offer. So anyway, I'll share that with people. So I think we do have a candidate come up again. I think we probably need to talk more about the salary. So, and I will share that in the next day or two in the PDF format to all board members in the office.
Okay, and Tony, if that brings up too, you said you are not giving up on that first individual. We might want to, after we talk about it, we might want to broach that with him again and see if that sweetens the pot.
Oh, we already covered that bridge. The rationale between his reason for not accepting was he does not want to make a change at this time, which really kind of surprised us. Kate and I spoke about it. We did throw out the caveat as far as more money, but I think another conversation is warranted because I was impressed with the individual. I like his background. Anyway, I'll try to make that work. The other thing I did, I went back to some previous applicants that we had in the past, being that this is a second job search I've been doing. And I focused in on one of them that we had considered several years ago. But he is now in the insurance agent business, so he totally changed career paths. I'll just bury that one. It was worth a try, at least. So that being said, I don't know what happened to him, but I have a request from Clay Loden, excuse me, as public comments. I sent him the link, but I do not see him here.
I'm here.
There he is.
Oh, is it louder or?
It's louder. Yeah, it's on
I'm
the
sorry,
screen.
I got the name wrong.
No,
You
on
don't
the
look like a
screen.
Betty though.
Yeah, my screen says Betty Louder, but it's Clay.
Okay, Clay, I apologize for that.
Oh, no problem.
Okay, you got 3 minutes. Look, take you on and find out what it is that you're after. Would you like to
3
talk to us about?
Okay, so yeah, thanks for allowing me to be a part of your meeting here. What I wanted to address was the FLM policy of having people who have additional land onto their residence land still having to pay road, water, and septic fees, even though we're already paying for that at our residence. I've got 4 pieces of property, small lots that border my residence lot, which are not going to be developed. We bought them to keep them from being developed. And so I'm paying right now 5 times every month to use the road, for a water tap, and for being close to a sewer tap, even though I've already paid the, whatever it was, 15,000 or so for the water and the sewer at my house. In 2020, the Supreme Court of Colorado changed their ruling on taxation for resident land and ruled that property that is adjacent to a residence should be subject to a residence tax instead of a commercial tax, and without having to do any consolidation. And La Plata County followed by changing their tax code for people who had vacant land that was attached to their land. Their only 2 qualifications were that it was owned by the same person and that they actually touched, which ours does. So what I'm hoping to discuss with you guys is the possibility of you changing your policy to match La Plata counties so that land that borders a residence is considered part of it and not requiring consolidation, which is what the county is doing, so that we don't have to pay 5 times to use the road, even though we're only one family, and we don't have to pay for being close to sewer and water taps when we've already tapped into the sewer and water. So that's my issue. I'd like to get you guys' feelings on that. I mean, at this point, I'm paying Forest Lakes money every month, about $120 or so for these 4 lots that I get nothing in return for. You know, and it's not costing you anything for me to have the lots. You're not having to provide me any additional services. So that's pretty much it. That's what I would like to discuss.
Okay, I'm sure the office has probably conveyed this to you over the past, because this is about, I think, the 3rd time since I've been on the board since it's come up. And the curiosity question I have logically is, why did you not consolidate? Because that will also save you on property taxes also.
Actually, the consolidation won't save that much in taxes because it increases the total acreage, and they're only charging us for the residents of the 4. And the other reason is because of the expense. I mean, the surveyors right now, the estimates I got were $6,000 to $7,000 just to do that, and they require that, plus the fees at the county bring it to like $7,000 or $8,000 to do that. And the only reason for me to do it is to not have to pay you guys the money every month. So either way, it's a whole lot of money that's not going anywhere for me.
I understand your position, because believe it or not, 10, 11 years ago, I went to the same thing, because I did consolidate all of mine into one. And at that time, getting a surveyor was not a big issue. And our canned answers up to this point, as we have to everybody else, we have not granted any exceptions to that rule. And I see at this point, unless another board member's got something else to say, something they can always put on the table again, but we would have to decline at this point.
Does anybody
I
else?
do have a question.
Go ahead.
So I see the benefit for sure, Clay, of not having to pay full FMLD dues for those vacant lots, because no, those lots aren't probably getting mail or any of that. However, what would stop us, or what would stop you from, let's say, watering that lot or taking pine needles down to the flash pile? Like, how do we make sure you're not using the services for those lots? I know you're not driving, but how do you make sure you're not doing that?
Well, I don't know that there's a way that you can make sure I don't get pine needles off of it, but
Right.
you know, so yeah, it's a possibility that I could take a little more to the trash, but I don't see the logic in making me pay 5 times more to use the road, the same amount I was using it before and the same amount everybody else uses it. I don't get my road plowed 5 more times. In fact, the road I live on actually gets sometimes plowed less, but that's a whole nother subject. And then, you know, for being charged for being close to a sewer and to a water, you know, outlet or whatever, but I'm never ever going to use them. This just seems odd to me.
But we don't know that. You have the benefit first of extra land, which is nice around your house. So I disagree with you that you don't have a benefit. But also we are plowing for you to get to that. I don't know where your lot is located. So let's say your lot is here and you've got 2 other lots on each side, as some of the other people have. We're still plowing that in front of your house. You have to weigh the benefit of not paying us per month by consolidating. So does that $6,000 to $7,000 plus fee in the long run, is it cheaper than to pay us? This just came up 3 months ago, 4 months ago, not too long ago. And we have not wavered on allowing any kind of,
Anyway, it's like,
not charging the fees.
yeah, this is the third time since I've been on the board over the last 3 years. It does come up periodically. And I know Clay, you're not the only one that is in that position. Often adding you to the list, I now know of 6 people that are faced with the same thing. And a
Plus,
couple of days,
I just saw on my block, same thing, that the lot's for sale. So you have that option to sell a lot that you wouldn't if you consolidated. So
yeah,
that's kind of our rationale on how we cannot issue you any kind of lien, or what's the word I'm looking for, guys?
Exception.
Exception, thank you. Exception to that.
Well, so back to, I'm sorry, Mandy, what Mandy said. I can see your point about taking more pine needles or whatever. I don't understand the water thing because I pay for the water. But it seems like you could make an exception about the roads. I mean, there's to pay 5 times more for the roads, and there's absolutely no way having this property makes you guys have to do more road maintenance. That would be reasonable.
How do
Yeah,
you know
there
in
are a
the
lot of
future we won't have road maintenance issues where you need a bigger ditch next to you or gravel filled because there's a washout or something? That would be covered in that, kind of like little insurance for you that you can still get to that property with a road.
There are lots of vacant lots in here, whether you own 1 vacant lot or 3 vacant lots, everybody else is paying, and it helps that cost, that fee helps maintain the roads and stuff too. I have 2 lots also. Mine is not consolidated, so I'm paying just like you are on my vacant lot next door. But I could pick up and sell it anytime I want to, and I am hauling slash down to the slash pile off my vacant lot. So I really don't personally have an issue with it. If we reduce what you're paying because you have 4 lots or 5 lots, then that amount gets shoveled off on everybody else because we still need the same amount of money to maintain the roads. And so if we reduce yours, then we increase everybody else's to make up for that. So, I mean, we're not very eloquent in talking about this. Keith has addressed it a number of times. And I wish I had a talking paper in front of me, but we've looked at this a number of times and it becomes a real Pandora's box if you start making exceptions.
I'll add one other thing that has been discussed in the past, and I haven't heard it brought up yet, so I'll just bring it back up again. That it has been known that some people that have those additional lots have ended up basically using them for friends or whatever to come over and use the additional space, the campers and RVs for a couple of months or 2, whatever. Whether they were rented out or not, we will never know. So that was another concern that was voiced. Well, I think about 2-3 years ago. So there's other issues. And Clay, from the sound of it, you've heard Mandy, Carissa, Mark, and myself, the 4 of us that are here. We're missing 1 member, of course. It doesn't look like you're getting much support from anybody yet, I'm sorry to say. So we do appreciate your concern. I think we will keep it in back of our minds because elections, it does keep coming back up. And I'm sure the office is well aware of the people that have those multiple lots, if our position ever changes.
And just one additional thing, when I purchased the lot beside me, that weighed into my decision. I had to decide whether I was willing to pay that extra. And I ultimately made the decision, I'd rather have the space. So it's, I guess that should have been looked at up front too.
So I get what you guys are saying. So if I consolidate, I'm still taking just as much stuff to the trash. I'm still using the roads just as much. I mean, you don't get any benefit from it, but I'm still using the same amount of Forest Lakes, assets.
Okay,
That's
all righty,
that's true,
Clay.
but that's not something that we can really change right now. You know what I mean? Lots of people have 5-acre lots, 1-acre lots. That's done with the county, so we can't change that. So yes, we lose money by you doing that, which is also your incentive, but we completely understand that.
Okay, you guys. Well, thanks very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Clay.
All right. I'm going to
We
leave.
will
Thank
keep you in mind.
All right.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Have a good day.
Okay.
Thank you. You too.
All right, folks, going on to reports from the staff. Because of Keith's absence, we've kind of taken the staff report and broken it up into different pieces for different members. So if I can follow my own notes here that I wrote a couple days ago. I think the FLMD 2022 budget, I was gonna have Mark briefly talk about that. And then I'll pick it up with number 2.
Mark, do you have number 1 in front of you?
Mark, Mark, you muted.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I forgot to press my. Okay, I'm going to unmute it totally here. Anyway, yes, I'll talk about number 1. Chris, pipe in if I overlook something or if you want to add anything. But yeah, we've had a couple of meetings with Keith. He came up with a like a 90% draft at one point. Chris and I met with him and we talked through it. He went back through it and scrubbed out a couple of duplicates, I think, that he found in there. And so he's got what should be a good draft budget at this point. So that's kind of the status of that. And I'll go a little bit further in a minute. But the one additional thing I noticed in Keith's report is he said they finally got the initial valuation assessment from La Plata County, and it has increased from 18,633,750 to 19,820
Millions.
million. Thank you. To $19,820,590, which is approximately 40,000 more in revenue for the district for 2022. So that's good. The plan is to put that money into cash reserves. And then back to the draft budget. So we have the draft budget. That'll be presented at the board meeting on October 12th. And let's see, the district manager or somebody in his absence will need to post a notice in the Durango Herald and on the FLMD's website for public to review it. Then there will be public hearings of the draft budget on November 9th at the board meeting. Excuse me, I'm stumbling over my words today. Not enough caffeine, I guess. Okay, at that meeting, the public will have an opportunity to ask questions and provide any comments since it's a public hearing. The plan is to adopt the budget in its final form at the December 14th board meeting. And at that time, yes.
One comment I would like to add, just to add more to what he said here, that basically we have the drafts right now.
Yes.
Okay, so all the board members have between now and October 12th to get any clarifications, recommendations, changes, whatever you have feelings about the budget, get them over to Keith so they can be reviewed, either adopted or whatever. Okay, and then the public, after that gets published, has the opportunity between then and including November the 9th to make comments or to ask questions of the staff before the meeting. So if a individual who picks up the draft off the website has questions about it, don't wait till November the 9th to ask the question. Ask it when it comes up. So people have the opportunity to do that.
Right.
And in the past, that has been very common also. Okay. Thank you, Mark.
Yep.
Okay, Unit 3.
Well, he needed to finish up the 3 resolutions will also be then for our December meeting.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
besides that, besides the adoption of the budget, the 3 resolutions that we're going to talk about today will be then adopted on at the December 14th board.
Yeah, okay, but I'm not gonna go into the resolutions because those are just canned documents that we have to do before,
Okay,
before filing. We have to
Okay.
verify the mill levy, and all that stuff. That's just, I call that a formality step to keep the government happy. But we have to do it because people have an opportunity to look at it. Unit 3 service plan, as we all know, basically submitted it to the county. Keith had some conversations with the county. And I think that, to me, the focus basically is that the county manager has met, and major items that will need to be submitted prior to the pre-application conference is to identify how water, sewer, and road upgrade maintenance and services will be provided if the district does not provide them. This is something for the county to answer. The county's position at this point seems to be that they do not want to accept the amendment that we submitted. So for us to be keeping our mind till they act on what they have so far, do we want to pursue this? And all I can think is throw us up some food for thought. It's been 1985, 35 years since we basically took that position of not supporting Unit 3. And we haven't supported it. And we've been successful in doing so. So maybe back in 85, they knew that they can never get the service plan amended. Maybe that was not an oversight, maybe that was by design back in 1985, but they didn't finish it. So we can just keep this in back of our mind that we may have to cross another bridge. I know I've already talked to Keith that I'll be more than glad to go with him if we have to meet with the county and to see what happens here.
Yeah, I have one question, Tony.
Mhm.
You know, I keep thinking, you know, this is catch-22. The county won't provide building permits if we don't provide water. We can't afford to provide water. They, in their use code that was approved a couple of years ago, outlawed hauling water and using cisterns. So they kind of put us in, to some degree, in the position we're in. Is there any kind of a waiver process that's permitted under the current county use code that we may be able to go apply for a waiver to this in this particular situation?
I think once the county comes back with what their ideas are, and comes back to us basically in writing to say that what their thinking is, which they have not done yet,
Okay.
I think we may have to sit back at the drawing board.
Can
Okay.
can we do a special meeting with the board and like several members of La Plata County? Because they keep pushing back to us, we push back to them. Like at some point we have to sit down and figure this out.
Well, right now the ball's in their court. So we're waiting for their response.
Okay.
And they basically have acknowledged the fact they understand they have to do something. So at this point, we're gonna
Okay.
wait. And one of the outcome may be exactly what you just mentioned, that they want to sit down and talk to us, which is fine.
Yeah,
So,
they are there to provide a service, and therefore, if we feel like we're in a stuck position, they should be willing to help us work through it and see if we can mutually come to something that could work.
yeah. So
Yeah.
our current is the wait mode to see what the county action is gonna be, which is basically in that first step part of the comment that Keith made. I kind of dropped the in between stuff because it's all been acknowledged.
Yep.
Okay. So moving on to the weed spraying. The weed spraying early this summer, the delusion rainfall we received this year, we had to have our contractors come out and respray a lot of the district's common areas and right-of-ways. The notice was placed on the website, and I've seen it, it was at the mill stop. Our contractors also posted flags while the spraying was an active service. The infiltration issue, jetting of manhole repairs, inflow and infiltration is continuing to take place. We put money aside for it this year, we put money aside for it next year, and we'll continue to do so to see if we can cut the infiltration. It seems to be the year of resignations here, as looks like Jeff Gregg also decided to join the crowd, and he would not be representing us anymore after December the 15th. He has given us a recommendation for a replacement, and that attorney that he's recommending is somebody we've dealt with in the past. And I'm drawing a total blank on his name. I think it's Anthony something. So we will be hearing more about that once we finalize that. COVID-19 vaccine clinic, says San Juan Basin Health hosted another vaccine clinic in the district in August of 21st. And there was another successful clinic. They did 10 Pfizer doses, 8 were returnees for the second shots from the prior clinics, and 2 were first doses. They will conduct another clinic in the district on September the 25th, which is kind of interesting because September 25th is also Heritage Days in Bayfield. So the sheep will be going through. There'll be a parade on the morning of the 25th. There'll be vendors in the park, Stevenson Park, in late morning. And there'll be a old timers picnic in Eagle Park that afternoon. So all kinds of things going on that day. The current plan is to also have boosters available as well in that clinic next to do so. Let's see, going on here. Small improvement district, water sewer lines, main extension. Everybody knows that we pretty much talked about it, that we are going to do Snowbird next year. It was a success in the one that we did this year, so the more lots become available, the more to get built on, the better off we all are. Okay, trash key fobs, just the update is, it looks like for the second, all the materials have been received and implementation is underway. Maybe Jim will give us an update on where we are on that when we get to that, when we get to Jim. The officer in charge report, evidently there seems to be some questions. Mark Fusen Enterprises has contacted the state and is coming up with some questions about the officer in charge signature or something having to do with the district manager. We'll get some clarification on that from Mark Fusen here, I hope in the near future. RV dump station. I don't know if you guys have read it. I'm not sure there's anybody on this. The RV dump station is something we're not going to do, bottom line. There's all kinds of additional side effects that doing that. The fact the additional chemicals, the state requirements that we have, if we do have a dump station. I think it may help a few people that have trailers up here, but it's something the district is not going to go forward with.
Yeah, just as a side note, whoever was asking that, or if somebody else ever asks, what I did is I put in a clean out by my trailer. It costs a little money. You have to pay somebody to do it, but they can tap into your septic or your sewer line, and then you can dump your trailer on your own lot. And so that's what I've done. So that's always available too.
Mark, can I ask what that cost you?
Well, I had it done when I was building the house, so it cost me an extra $250. If the house had already been here, then they would have had a trench around the house and it would have been a little bit more expensive
Okay.
because
to
my
know.
septic's
Thank
in
you.
my backyard.
Good to
Okay,
know.
so if you have your own septic, it sounds like there is a relatively economical way to do it. So you can have it next to your home. Okay, which really does not affect our district at all because we're not putting it into the district sewer system.
Right.
And I can't help but think, and this is just me thinking out loud, that if an individual is tapped into our sewer on one of those 200 some odd lots that are sewer connected, if they have a plumber come out and make a tap into the sewer, if that would really affect us in any way, shape, or form, because it's their sewer line on their property.
No, it should not. I mean, the sewer is designed to handle the load from houses, and an RV is not going to input nearly as much stuff into the septic as a house would. So that
Sure.
should not be an issue. I think the real issue is the upkeep and maintenance and the infrastructure costs to put in a dump for the few people that might use it.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
Tony.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jim.
It's not the idea that we can't handle it. It's the idea that they put that blue chemical in there to keep it from smelling, and it kills the working bugs in our ponds. And that's why we can't allow it. That's the same reason why at Santa Rita Park that they don't have that anymore either. They used to have a dump station and right outside their, you know, their wastewater plant. And that's not there anymore because of the chemical that goes in the RVs. It kills the bugs in our ponds and they don't work as good anymore.
And
Okay,
just so you know, Jim, I don't use that chemical. I haven't used chemicals in my RV for years. I found it did nothing.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that's, you know, you might not, but somebody else does.
People do.
And
Yep.
if you have a septic field, then it doesn't matter because you're going to have that pumped out, but our ponds don't work that way.
Gotcha.
Okay, so very good point. So basically what we're saying is don't dump into our sewer system, period. Whether it's from your lot or down below.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Thank you very much. Clarified. Okay, item number 11. I think I was gonna impose on Mandy to talk about this because I think you brought it up in a way. And Keith wrote a two or three page memo about the hours of operation.
I was going through that too, Tony. I see his point with several of that in terms of overtime and all of that. My question to all of this, and I completely understand all of his points. Yes, people are more prone to dumping trash when the dump's not being supervised. I am not proposing to even have it open without supervision. I just wanted to change the hours. I just wanted to make it so that maybe the staff isn't there on Tuesday and Thursday, or even on Tuesdays, and they work on Sundays. Or maybe we give a Monday off, you know what I mean? So that we don't force overtime, but at the same time, more residents can use these services on the weekends. Even if it's just 2 hours on Sunday, that would help. Anything would help on a Sunday. And I just it's the weekday hours that they're super tough for people that work.
Have you ever been there on a Wednesday at 6:45? There's nobody there. There's plenty of time at 6:45 on a Wednesday evening that you can dump your slash that you collected on a Sunday. I don't see your point at all, Mandy. Why one Sunday a year you want to dump your slash, but we have to keep it open all the year, all during the year for a Sunday for your 2 minutes that you need to go on a Sunday. They're open early on the days. They're open all day Saturday. You need to just schedule around those hours. It's that simple. And I never went after 3 o'clock. I went on a Wednesday the other day. The place is yours. You can take as long as you want to empty your slash. And I can't believe you're not home at 6:45 on a Wednesday.
It's not 15 minutes, Carissa. It's all day. When we are cleaning up slash, we do probably 15 trips in one day. And then we'll go back and forth and back and forth. So it's not like a one-time thing. And if my husband works till 6 and doesn't get home, it doesn't work. People work different hours. I get that it's easy for you, but if we did a poll with our whole neighborhood, I guarantee you these hours don't work for the majority of our citizens.
That's why we kept the hours on a Wednesday, either early or late. Is it Wednesday?
Okay, guys.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll add one variable to it, okay? I've never been approached by anybody in the 22 years I've lived here about these hours issue. But I will make one comment. We're open 6 days a week. I know of very, very few people that work more than 5 hours, 4 days a week. Some work 5, some work 4, but nobody works 6. It's very, very unusual. So no matter what your schedule is, you still have one day, whatever it is your schedule allows, to still come in and use the facilities out there.
Tony, I can tell you from us in the office that we do not get a lot of requests or complaints regarding the hours that the dump is open.
Thank you, Jamie.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I think at this point, Keith's point basically is, I think it doesn't make sense for us to change it at this time. So if it ever gets revisited, let it be, we can always revisit, so.
Maybe if we were deeper in employees, it'd be easier to accommodate, but we have so few employees. We have a pretty small staff.
Well, we're still accommodating 6 days a week already. Well, I mean, I know a lot of people, a lot of industry is going to 4 days a week, 10-hour days, which is great, because it never was when I was there. But even so, I never worked more, I shouldn't say never. I very seldomly work more than 5 days a week, even though I was working. And that's true probably for most people. So at least you have 1 day a week that you can focus in on your outside chores.
Which, Tony, I would agree with you unless you have kids, because Saturdays are sports days. So that's my day and it gets taken up. So that's my frustration.
Yeah, well, I went to that loop too. Somehow between my wife and I, we did manage to raise the kids, and they're on their own, they're raising their kids, and they're doing the same thing you're talking about. Saturday, they're running all over the hell. And one of them is now a high school soccer player, and that's 5 days a week, and Saturdays for the other one. So I do appreciate that, but I think we're just gonna leave things be at this time. The next one I'm confused on, because I don't know where it's at. For Voot Vendors trucks, we're still pursuing this. There is Jeff provided the legal opinion and draft agreement to the district, which we provided to the board. The next step is for the board to determine how and when the director Roderick, not Mandy, was gonna do some more research on security issues with the vendors. Because I guess the Wi-Fi issue came up, having to do with the community center. I don't have any insight into this. Mandy, do you have anything to add with what's going on?
I don't. I'm so sorry. I had that on my list to chat with Jared. He told me that there was Wi-Fi down there at one point. So I wanted to go test it. The hard part, I think, is there's not great cell service down there. And so if people don't have Wi-Fi and they can't use their cell phones to do e-commerce, then it makes it kind of a moot point because most people don't have cash. So that's where if we can agree that we'll share Wi-Fi for 1 day or change the password for that 1 day or something like that, then I think it would be successful. But if we can't offer any services, it's probably too hard to get the trucks down there.
Okay, I'll add another variable to you that I'm sure we haven't thought about, especially this time of the year when it's light till 7 or 8 o'clock. I mean, once the time zone changes, come 5 or 6 o'clock, it's pitch dark over there. And the
Yeah,
rec
this
center,
is mostly a summer thing, I think.
is it?
Yeah, I would say, or maybe on Saturdays.
The Wi-Fi issue is a big one. Okay, and I'll be honest with you.
Mhm.
For what I know about technicalities, I know just enough to be user-friendly, and beyond that point, I'll call somebody else. So maybe we can take this issue and spend the winter how to put this all together, that we can offer something up there that will solve the issue at the Wi-Fi, maybe even solve the issue with nighttime, because we do have to do something with that rec center up there. And I know that when we had evening meetings about a year and a half ago, and we didn't go in there to 6 o'clock, it was horrible. Between the concrete, the work, the inside the buildings, the heaters going, the sound levels. I mean, that community center is a topic all of its own. I know Keith right now is.
Sorry, I was just going to say, Jamie or Barb, are you on? Do you know if we're paying for Wi-Fi at that building?
You know what? Our bill is huge with CenturyLink. I'm sure we are.
Well, and it
Jamie,
was Jared that I
Yes.
talked to at Visionary.
I don't think,
yeah, it's through Visionary. It's just one small unit up there, Mandy, and you almost have to be right outside the doors in order to get Wi-Fi. They'd have to put a booster on it or something for the parking lot. And you're
Oh, okay.
right. When KD was coming here, they couldn't go up there because of that. There's no cell reception, and they take most of their orders over the phone, so.
Ah, so we have
Right.
visionary at the rec center or the community center?
Yeah,
Yes, but I'm not sure that we pay for that.
We do
because
not.
they,
I do
no,
not.
because they owed, when they first put the tower up, it had something to do with, they would give us 2 units, supply us with 2 units free. And we used the second unit at the post off, or at the mailbox site last year. Okay, and I remember him
Mhm.
mentioning it because I asked, well, how much is this going to cost? And he says, nothing. We were going to run it down to the shop, but we couldn't get a clear, line of sight. So we'll give you this one here. And then the rec center was the other one. So we're really not paying for either one of those.
Correct, yeah. Well,
Well, if
thank
we're not
you.
paying-
Well, I'll ask Jared then and see if we can talk about a booster and if it would cost or what options we have to extend that a little bit. So I promise
Okay.
I'll work on that.
thank you, Mandy. I'd like to see something like that happen, really. I wish we put the restaurant back over there. Yeah, I was looking at the menu. Believe it or not, you get a hamburger and a hot dog for, I think, $1.10, including fries, when the restaurant was there. Okay, number 13, rate increases. As a reminder for people that are listening and put it into our minutes, the district rates will increase and effective starting with September the 1st, September usage. Make people aware that the rate increases following action will take place. The rates have changed and they're going to turn around and get their bills in October and the phones will ring off the hook. So not going into the rest of the details. Item number 14 is an issue that we do have to talk about because of the resolution that's attached. Some time ago, and it's more than a couple of months ago, we started talking to Shaw Solar to evaluate our power usage of solar energy. We gave them all their bills. We gave them all our bills. They looked at all the sites and they came up with a recommendation. The one thing I think I need to make sure people understand, we are a non-taxable entity, so we do not get tax benefits off of anything, nor do we pay federal income taxes. So therefore, going into solar is strictly an expense type issue. In the industry, a Shaw Solar can buy the equipment that they need to benefit us, and they will get the tax benefits for the purchase of that equipment and installing it, which is what our 5-year agreement with them basically quotes. We will still pay a base fee for La Plata Electric, which is the backup to the solar power. Okay, and the 5-year agreement basically says they cover all the service, warranties, and repairs, everything. And then the lender is, that was in here. Anyway, there is a lender involved in the resolution. When I read the resolution, I'll bring that up. So we are basically, we've approved this. And I'll read the resolutions, gets into details, and it does save us expenses over the 4 or 5 years and reduced cost on the power for the 4 places that, I think it was 4 or 3. Anyway, for the stations where we can use this power energy. Okay, so I will come back to that when we talk about the resolutions 2021-10. There's more details there. The discharge permit, this has been, we might as well just print this on the paper permanently. We're still waiting to continue. We're coordinating with the public health. Still no answer from them on our permit renewal. The Parks and Rec master plan. We are in a 2 to 4 year master plan, and O&M has completed the install of all the equipment for this year. For the 2022 budget, we have a line item in it in the amount of $26,000. That is to lower the priorities at this point. Pending final funds availability, we will complete the 3-year plan in the year 2022. And for those of you that share the facilities, I think it looks nice. The fact that we don't have a porta-john out there that smells and all that, really quite an improvement for us. Item number 17. I think this is the last one. Yeah, I think everybody's heard the old saying, shit always happens. It looks like Hodder found themselves a CenturyLink cable when they were digging the ditch for the water. So that kind of put things back a little bit. Anyway, we're on target basically to put the trusses up in October. The concrete is in. We took some nice pictures. The driveway is there. I don't know if any of you guys have ever driven up there, but the office is becoming a reality. And that's something else I think this board could probably look back on in a year from now and says, hey, we found the one expense item and fixed it permanently for the rest of the next 25 years. When our rent for the facility is going to be the same amount every single month. It doesn't increase every single year. But the office is going to move. Real time. On that note, I think we covered all of it.
I just want to add for the record that the trusses aren't going to be delivered till October. So we're not going to leave the floor joists or wall structures exposed to elements until then.
Yeah, well, but the weather outlook the way it is for the forecast right now, I think we'll be all right.
I know.
For the next 10
I
days,
know,
it's
maybe
going
we
to be
should put them up to get rain.
so. Yep, you're right. But we just have to deal with weather as best we can. Okay, Jim. I got your one page up. Hello, Jim.
I'm here.
You're up, sir.
Okay, let's go right to the key fobs to start with. I know it's not on there, but you'd mentioned it. We were having trouble because we couldn't put any more key fobs on our keypad that opens the gate. And so with everything new coming up and everything, we've got a new keypad. We kind of dug into it. Everybody said we couldn't do it, but one of the guys said, well, can't we just put in a new keypad and get new fobs for that pad? So we did find out we could do that. And so now we've got up to, I think it's 999 new fobs down here. And we have the keypad. They still all have to be programmed, but we still have some left for our keypad number 1. But the second keypad will have to be marked. I think Jamie and Barb kind of thought maybe they should be marked A and B, so that when they give out the key fobs, it will say, if you have to use the second keypad, it'll say B on it. So that's where that, that's where that stood, because we were worried that we were going to have to buy a whole new system. Okay, and then we fixed the leak on Berry Drive and did a water tap on Buckhorn. And we did another water tap at River Ranch. We finished the new playground equipment, starting ready for, okay. We've been getting ready for this water inspection that they're supposed to come and do, where they come in, inspect all of our records and, everything. And we're still getting ready for that because nobody's ever showed up yet. We repaired a leak up on Green Ridge. We've had a few phone calls. It was in the spring and we thought it was maybe just a spring coming down the hill. Well, it finally showed up in the middle of the road. So we took care of that. That's what they started refurbishing of the manholes. Actually, he was here today and he only has 2 more left to go. And they'll be all done with refurbishing those. So they should be done. I think he told me tomorrow. We tested the hydrants at River Ranch, and the guys are testing them right now. It'll probably be the rest of this week and maybe into the middle part of next week. So if people notice that their water pressure comes and then comes and goes, that's why, because they're in your area. If it's on a certain PRV, it'll affect your water, but once they move beyond that PRV, then you should be fine. We had to replace a hydrant on Little Bear, damaged by somebody ran it over. It was one we did last year. We hauled gravel and finished up Pine Top and Spruce Way. Finished putting all the gravel and the road base down, so that's ready to go now for, we're just getting ready to start our next one next year on Snowbird. We had a webinar on water distribution for some technical units for 4 of the guys down here. And they're still continuing to work on the roads. They're up on, I think, Hilltop today. So they're way up at the top. All of our vehicles are in good shape, and we didn't have any more incidents. So we're no accidents, let's put it that way.
Jim, I got one request or one comment on your first topic, to fix the leak on Berry Drive.
Yes,
After you fixed it, that one turn right there, right before you get to the turn, that road is absolutely horrible, no matter which path you use.
yeah,
Good.
that's why they're coming down that way now. We have
Okay.
to go and add some gravel to it. That's where the water actually, when we pulled it apart
Right,
and got to the leak, that's where the water all ran and kind of dug a groove down through there.
okay. So you're addressing that.
Yep.
Thank you very much, sir.
And I wanted to thank Jim publicly for delaying your retirement because you were short-staffed. That was very unselfish of you. And thanks for your dedication.
All right, thank you.
Yes,
I
yes,
just,
thank you.
I just couldn't leave like that. So I'll be here a while.
We appreciate that very much.
Hey, Jim, how's it going on replacing your 2 staff?
It's not.
That's
We,
not good.
we've had a few, inquiries, but a lot of them just don't have all the qualifications. If they have a CDL, they've never been on, heavy equipment. If they've been on heavy equipment, they don't have a CDL. There's people that are willing to learn it, but we just can't, we got to have somebody that has the certifications.
Okay,
Got it.
thank
Do
you,
you guys
sir.
want me to put anything on the little neighborly page that just says Forest Lakes Metro is hiring? Check the website.
It's on the website if they do. It
Yeah,
wouldn't hurt.
It wouldn't hurt to
No.
drive it. Okay, I'll post something.
All right. Thank you.
You bet.
Okay, moving forward, item D, the financials. Let's see. Mark or Carissa, which one
Yeah,
of
I
you guys?
can address it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so property tax distribution report through August 2021, the Metro District has received 98.8% of levied property tax, or $654,298 of the levied amount of $661,946 for the year. This time of year, based on an even distribution of expenses, we would be at about, or income, either one, we'd be at about 67%. So we're doing okay on the tax income. For the water pumping, in August, the Metro District pumped 5.6 million gallons of water between the 4 wells. In July 2021, it was 5.9 million. So, so that's kind of current status on the water pumping. General fund revenues are at 80% of budgeted. Expenses are 76, so we're a little bit ahead on that. Revenues for the water fund are at 63% of budgeted. Expenses are at 68%, so we're a little behind on the water fund. The sewer fund revenues were at 69%, expenses at 56%. So overall revenues are at 71% of budgeted. Expenses are at 68% of budgeted as of this date.
Thank you very much, Mark. Any questions, comments? Unfinished business. I think we pretty much covered the recreation activities earlier. So I'm gonna say no comments there. Any new business, any new issues? And now I need to find my resolution, which I can't find.
On page 30.
Here it is, I found it. Jesus. Okay, now the resolution of the service solar agreements. Okay, so resolution 2021-10. Let's see, the district is Metropolitan District, Forest Lakes, we know that. The applicable laws, we know about the directors in accordance to the state statutes. There are several financial and environmental benefits to installing solar on buildings in Colorado. There's a misspelling there. It's not sin, it's in Colorado. Additionally, Colorado is an extremely sunny state, has nearly 300 days of sunshine every year. Colorado will typically get 3,204 hours of sunshine every year. Can't imagine somebody actually measured that, which allows for an optimal amount of sunlight to power residential commercial solar panel systems. The representatives from Shaw Solar, John Shaw, managing partner of Mountainside Energy, contacted the district in the spring of 2021. It actually goes back earlier than that, but that's all right. And basically came up with a proposal. The proposal is a system for the water plant facility, 215 kilowatt hours, and a system for the O&M shop and lift station location on 6893 lift station and well number 1, 184 kilowatts. The system consists of a 125 kilowatt ground mount solar array at the O&M shop and a 41 ground mount solar array at well number 1, and a 18.75 kilowatt ground mount solar array. Shaw Solar provided the district with a long list of both municipal and commercial references, similar projects that they've completed. And we did make some phone calls and verified their existence and their excellent relationships. While the solar system is owned by Shaw's a seller, Mountainside Energy LLC, I mentioned earlier, there is a lender involved. And the lender is Mountainside Energy LLC, leased the district through the service agreement. They will design, install, and maintain the system for a 30-year period, beginning the day the system is placed in service. There will be no upfront cost to the district and Mountain Energy LLC. And they have shown that the district that there will be savings in electrical power to begin on day 1. Mountainside Energy LLC and the district will enter into two 30-year solar service agreements for the ground mount at 315 kW and 184 kW, as shown on the attachments. At 6 years, optional buyout that would allow for greater savings over the term of the agreement, with the potential savings of up to 54%. The solar agreements were thoroughly coordinated between the Mountainside Energy, the district, and the district's attorney, Jeff Gregg. Mountainside Energy is registered with the Office of the Secretary of State of the state of Colorado and has been issued a certificate of good standing. Okay, each of these meters is under different structure. A composite rate has been calculated to determine the effective cost of energy contracts and structures is what about. If the buyout option is chosen after 6 years, Mountainside will then be available for ongoing service and maintenance requests. Okay, whereas the agreement only covers payment for the solar agreements and are shown in a proposal in attachment 1. As John Shaw stated in his presentation to the board of directors back in February 2021, the district will still have bills from La Plata Electric to include monthly service charges as well as on-demand charges. The energy charge for La Plata bills will be reduced due to the solar energy generation and metering. The total current base charge will be $250 per month and will not change. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Directors, Forest Lakes Metropolitan District, Colorado, agrees to the service agreements as shown in the attachments 2 and 3, which I will have to sign. So other than one word that is misspelled, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth whereas. So please, Jamie, please change sin to in. Bottom line, as I said earlier, this shop benefit, I think, is nothing else. It's fixing some of our power usage. I mean, relying on solar, which I think is good for the environment to begin with. And it's good for us because it gives us fixed rates. And for the next 5 years, we don't have to worry about any expenses related to it. So it's pretty much covered. So a motion to approve resolution 2021-10.
Make a motion to approve the resolution.
Thank you,
I'll
Mark.
second it.
I'm sorry, was it? Who said second?
Mandy will second it.
Mandy. Thank you, Mandy. I'm sorry, I was looking at something else. Carissa, you in favor?
Yes.
And I'm in favor, so the decision to approve it is unanimous. I think it's one more direction for the stability of this, our subdivision, that we can do something good for the whole environment in the future coming down the road. Okay, I hope everybody got the amended expenses by vendor summary.
Yes.
So who would like to read this, Mark or Carissa?
I'll read it. I make a motion that we approve the expenses for the time period 5 August through 13 September in the amount of $107,601.46.
I'll second the motion. Carissa, you okay?
Approve.
Mandy?
Yep.
Okay, approval is unanimous. Thank you very much. Okay, any other comments from anybody about anything before we take our last positive piece here? I'll entertain
I
a
would like
motion.
to say that whatever they've been doing differently on the roads is great. They've been awesome lately. So thanks.
Hey, if you live on the east side, I agree with you. Going up the East Loop Road is a hell of a lot nicer than coming up the West Loop Road. There is a difference. I found out it's longer.
It's nice.
Does somebody have a motion that we adjourn? No?
I move that we adjourn.
Yeah, and I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Chair time to be 2:42. Thank you all very much.
Thank
I
you,
hope you
Tony.
have hope you have a nice evening. I appreciate it. And I will add to the minutes, just for the record, that we will ask the part-time district manager to please to let us know his schedule, so we can keep track of him. I hope he gets his bear, or whatever it is he's hunting. Okay, guys, have a nice evening. Thank you all very much.